What do all of these athletes have in common? These are all athletes that were injured while playing on turf fields. Each one of them. According to a study published in the Gridiron Heroics, there was a 27% increase in lower body non-contact injuries from playing on synthetic turf. There's also a 67% increase for ankle injuries that are on turf. University hospitals also found that athletes were 58% more likely to sustain an injury during athletic activity on artificial turf. Injury rates were significantly higher for football, girls and boys soccer, and rugby athletes. Lower extremity, upper extremity, and torso injuries were also found to occur with a higher incidence on an artificial turf. Today, many large high schools, colleges, and professional level athletes use turf fields for practice and games. This is largely due to its clean look and easy maintenance, as it is not able to die like normal grass. This causes many people to think that turf is better than grass fields that require time, maintenance, and watering in order to upkeep. Because of this, most larger football programs have invested their fields to be switched to turf. However, this common misconception has led to a dreadful increase in injuries for football players. This is largely due to how much grip that turf causes on athletes when they are changing direction quickly. Players' footing often becomes stuck, which is very hard on their joints and often leads to injury over time. Grass fields are much sturdier surfaces which do not grip onto the athlete's cleats when they change directions. This allows them to cut and change directions without any resistance on the athlete. Another disadvantage that programs with turf fields face is how hot turf becomes under intense heat. Turf is often layered with black rubber chunks which absorb the sun's heat. In areas that have extreme summer temperatures, this heat absorption can lead to a heat stroke and even burns in severe cases. Grass fields carry significantly less heat while also being much easier on an athlete's body. According to natural grass and synthetic turf injury research, NFL data on injuries suggests that grass fields are safer for athletes to play than turf. Many professional athletes are realizing just how harmful the effects of turf on their bodies over time. They found that playing on turf fields leads to a tremendous increase in injuries and joint pain. Because of this, these athletes have started to advocate for a complete transition from turf to grass for all football fields across the United States. In order to prevent these injuries, colleges, high schools, and the NFL teams are currently using turf fields and need to consider transitioning back to grass fields. It is worth the cost to invest in the athletes versus the field cost and maintenance. Some of the most outspoken athletes have been Odell Beckham Jr., Nick Bosa, Cooper Kupp, Romeo Doubs, Eric Stokes, and Rashawn Gary. If turf fields were completely banned, athletes would no longer worry about unnecessary and preventable injuries while playing. Reduction of ankle, knee, and hip injuries would not only be beneficial to the athletes, but to the overall athletic programs. Playing and practicing on all grass fields would also establish a fair playing field for all athletes. The NFL Players Association recently wrote a letter calling for the immediate replacement and ban of slit film turf fields throughout the league. In cases like the NFL, where players are often paid millions of dollars, it is ridiculous that owners do not switch to grass fields. Injuries cost the franchise and owners millions of dollars every single year, which could be completely avoided with a simple switch. Parents and athletes also need to be aware of the dangers and risks involved with practicing or playing on turf fields versus grass. Knowing these increased dangers should motivate all parties involved to advocate against the use of turf fields. You can help by educating school officials, coaches, and other athletes of the research and statistics on the injuries associated with turf fields.